Some battles were never meant to be fought. And seeing that changes how we see truth and ourselves.
Most people think faith and logic are opposites, that if you believe, you stop thinking. And if you think deeply, you lose faith. But this conflict is not ancient. It is modern. For most of human history, faith and logic were never separate paths. They were two movements of the same mind. So what went wrong? And what happens when they reunite? Logic asks how. Faith asks why. Logic dissects reality. Faith surrenders to it. When logic walks alone, it becomes cold, rigid, exhausted, constantly needing proof to feel safe. When faith walks alone, it becomes blind, easily manipulated, fearful of questions. Neither is whole by itself. And ancient wisdom knew this. In Indian philosophy, this divide never existed. Jnani seeks truth through inquiry, asking relentlessly, who am I? What is real? Bhakti seeks truth through devotion, not to escape reality, but to soften the ego. But here's the part most people miss. A true Jnani ends in surrender. A true Bhakt ends in understanding. Shankara, the greatest Advaitic logician, wrote devotional hymns. Mirabai, the most surrendered Bhakt, spoke with piercing clarity about self and illusion. Because truth is not owned by the intellect or the heart. It emerges when both mature. Modern psychology reveals something important. The conflict is not faith versus logic. It is brain versus heart. The brain is built to analyze, predict, and protect. The heart is built to feel, value, and connect. The analytical mind creates structure. The emotional mind creates meaning. Most people are taught to choose. Think logically, or follow your heart. But choosing one over the other creates imbalance. When the brain dominates, life becomes calculated, safe, and empty. When the heart dominates, life becomes intense, beautiful, and unstable. Neuroscience shows that clarity appears only when these systems synchronize. Not when one wins, but when both listen. In those moments, people don't feel torn. They feel calm, not emotional, not analytical, aligned. Even science has reached a strange humility. Physics can explain how the universe behaves, but not why it exists. It can describe how the universe moves, but not why it began moving at all. It can map matter, measure forces, predict outcomes. Yet consciousness remains unnamed. Meaning remains unquantified. Purpose slips through every equation. Science discovers what already exists. It reveals patterns, but it does not create the mystery. And at the boundary where logic exhausts itself, something unexpected happens. Not collapse. Surrender. And history quietly shows this. Many of the greatest scientific breakthroughs did not begin with certainty, but with faith. A deep trust that something unseen was real, even before it could be proven. Scientists often followed intuition, curiosity, and belief in an unknown order long before evidence arrived. Albert Einstein admitted that the deeper he went into physics, the more the universe felt intelligently ordered, something his equations could describe, but never fully explain. He didn't call it religion, he called it wonder. Friedrich Kekulé discovered the structure of the benzene molecule after he stopped working and saw it in a dream. A symbol forming when logic was exhausted. Nikola Tesla spoke openly about insights arriving not through calculation, but through sudden clarity. When the mind became still, these weren't accidents. They followed a pattern. Not blind belief, but faith in coherence, in meaning, in in something waiting to be understood. And when humans stand at the edge of helplessness, when effort can go no further, unexpected shifts occur. Miracles, which are not violations of science, but are encounters with what science has not yet explained. Spirituality does not reject science. Spirituality does not oppose this moment. It lives inside it. It begins exactly where science becomes silent, not as superstition, but as openness to the vast intelligence that already exists, whether we understand it or not. What we call miracles are often moments where reality reveals itself. Science does not deny this. It simply hasn't caught up to it yet. And this is where spirituality begins, not as belief, but as respect for the unknown that continues to guide discovery. If logic alone were enough, the greatest discoveries would never have required trust. And if faith were enough on its own, truth would never need understanding. Faith is not the enemy of logic. It is what remains when logic has spoken fully. And perhaps the deepest truths of life do not arrive through control, but through trust. So, what happens when both are held together? That's where the real balance begins. Faith without logic asks you to stop thinking. Logic without faith asks you to stop trusting. But balance asks something harder. Think deeply, then let go. Question honestly, then listen. Not blind belief, not endless doubt, but humility. Because the most awakened minds in history were not loud. They were integrated, clear thinkers, soft hearts. Faith and logic are not rivals. They are two wings. And truth is not reached by choosing one, but by learning